जी बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम ऑल माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स। कानून शहादत ऑर्डर में हम आज अपने नेक्स्ट लेक्चर का आगाज़ करते हैं। लास्ट लेक्चर में बल्कि हमने रेलिवेंसी ऑफ फैक्ट्स के चैप्टर को डिस्कस किया था, विच वाज स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम आर्टिकल 18 एंड इट वाज एंडेड टिल आर्टिकल 29, आई थिंक सो, in which we discussed about the thing that evidence can be offered in a court of law only in relation to two type of facts. Number one, the fact in issue, and secondly, any fact which is declared by the Qanun Shahadat order under any of these articles as a relevant fact. So any fact which is not a fact in issue, or any fact which is not a relevant fact, that cannot be considered as a relevant thing related to the court. So no evidence related to that can be offered in the court, cannot be produced in the court. In today's lecture I'm going to start with the subsection of this chapter, another subsection which is related to the admissions. So admissions are also relevant facts. This is in a way also part and parcel of the relevant facts, apart from those which we discussed before. So let's start with the admission. Its definition has been provided in under Article 30, which states that an admission is a statement, oral or documentary, which suggests any inference as to any fact in issue or relevant fact, and which is made by any of the persons and under the circumstances hereinafter mentioned. So number one thing is that admission is a statement which can be of two types. It can be an oral statement, the verbal words of the person. It can also be a written statement in the form of writing, like a letter, a book, a paper, a research article, a judgment, a notice, an agreement, a contract. So any type of writing that will be included in this. So number one thing is that it's a statement. Number second thing is that the statement can be of two types. And the third thing is that this statement isn't a plain statement. Instead, the statement has been pinpointed that only this type of statement will be considered admission. So what type of statement? This oral or documentary statement which is suggesting any inference related to any fact in issue or any relevant fact involved in this case. So the statement which is coming from that person, about which we are intended to construct that this is an admission, that statement must suggest an inference. That statement must suggest a future course of action related to the fact in issue or any relevant fact involved in this case. It must give us a clue that how this fact in issue or how this relevant fact was happened, how this was executed, what were the circumstances which brought the accused person to do this thing, what was the preparation, what was the intention, what was the uh, uh, motive of the person in doing this particular act. So this statement must suggest an inference. It must explain that how this fact in issue or how this relevant fact was happened. तो इसको ये बताना ज़रूरी है उस स्टेटमेंट को, वो कुछ निशानदही कर रही हो हमारे फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट के बारे में कि क्या ये चीज़ किस तरह से हुई थी, ये फैक्ट इन इशू किस तरह से एग्जीक्यूट हुआ था, ये रेलिवेंट फैक्ट किस तरह से एग्जीक्यूट हुआ था. So this is the third prerequisite of admission. Number fourth and fifth requisites are the statement cannot be of any person XYZ in the world. Instead, this statement, oral or documentary, which is suggesting any inference as to affect an issue or a relevant fact that must be coming from the persons who are being considered as relevant in this case. So any person who has nothing to do with the case, and his statement has nothing to do with this case, his statement will not be considered an admission. So what persons and under what circumstances this type of statement shall be considered, this has been outlined in the forthcoming articles of this Kanuni Shahadat order. So in particular circumstances, statements of particular persons, those statements which are suggesting any inference as to affect an issue or relevant fact will be considered an admission. Normally these parties, the persons whose statements will be considered, normally these are the parties to the suit, their agents, their representative in interest, or any person to whom they have referred in order to take any further information. An addition has been made to this Article 30 under our Electronic Transaction Ordinance 2002, whereby it is stated that statements generated by automated information system may be attributed to the person exercising power and control over the said information system. So if any admission has been made by means of an email, a fax, a text message, a voice message, a phone call, uh, that can be attributed as an admission, but the only thing which need to be cross checked is we need to check that if that system was properly functional, wasn't it hacked, wasn't it dysfunctional, wasn't it unattended. If any of these things or not in existence, I mean to say, if the system is intact, if it is not hijacked, if it is not attacked by the virus, and if any email has been sent by my laptop using my own email address in which I'm admitting something, then that admission will be a valid admission. But if something contrary to this is proved, for example, if it is proved that the system was unattended and somebody misused the computer, or this email account was hacked, the Facebook account was hacked, and somebody else using one's name has sent some malicious content to somebody else or admitted something maliciously, then that can be challenged and then that cannot be disregarded. Next, I'm moving to Article 31, which is related to admission by party to proceeding or his agent, etc. Statements made by a party to the proceeding or by an agent to any such party whom the court regards under the circumstances of the case as expressly or impliedly authorized by him to make them are admission. So we talked about specific persons whose statements shall be considered an admission. So we are discussing that in Article 31. Number one are the parties to the suit. Any statement of the plaintiff or defendant, that will be considered an admission. Their agents, any agent of these parties, their statement shall also be considered as an admission. Number two, statements made by parties to suit suing a sued in a representative character are not admissions unless they were made while the party making them held that character. So the statement of an agent who is representing a plaintiff or defendant, his or her statement shall only be considered as an admission if that statement has been made by him when he or she has attained that title of agent. So any statement which has been made by him prior to the attaining of the status of an agent or representative of the plaintiff, that shall not be considered an admission. Number three, statements made by persons who have any proprietary or pecuniary interest in the subject matter of the proceeding and who make these statements in their character of persons so interested. So any person, any third person who has any pecuniary or property interest in the subject matter of the suit, his or her statement that will also be considered as an admission. For example, if there is any dispute in between two partners of a firm, uh, there is any conflict and they went to the court in order to resolve that conflict. So any statement made by the third partner, that will be considered as an admission. Why? Because he also have got a proprietary or pecuniary interest in the subject matter of the suit. Number fourth is any person from whom the parties to the suit has derived their title will also be considered as an admission. So, if there is any conflict regarding the division of any movable or immovable property among two brothers or brother and sister, so any statement by the father who have granted them that property, his statement shall be considered as an admission. So similarly, if there is any dispute between two co-owners uh, who have purchased a piece of land, an agricultural land or a plot from a third person, and later they had any dispute regarding the subject matter of that suit. So any statement made by the seller from whom these two buyers have attained the title, his statement shall also be considered an admission. But again, the condition is that these statements must be made at the time when they had that title. So after the time they lapse that title, after that, that statement shall not be considered as an admission. So that's it.